Hey everyone, I wanted to make a video, which I haven't done in a while, talking about what to kind of expect on the first 6 months of recovery. And when I say the first 6 months, day one is really finding out the correct way to go about, in our opinion, OCD and anxiety recovery. Maybe it's a call with us, maybe it's a webinar, maybe you've ordered the books on the reading list, you've been watching the YouTube channel, and you finally start to take it more seriously than you have in the past, up towards maybe, and these are just random things I see. So maybe someone comes in, they buy a 6-pack, then they go away for a month or two, they buy a 3-pack, maybe 5 calls in, maybe 7 calls in, maybe they're doing every other couple weeks, maybe they're doing every month, but they've put some work in to their OCD and anxiety recovery. And remember, life isn't fair. We didn't sign up for this, just like someone doesn't sign up to have cancer when they were young. I had a friend of mine that passed away in his young 30s from lung cancer. He never smoked a cigarette or anything in his life. So we don't sign up for things in life, and we just have to deal with them as they come at us. And I think taking that stoic perspective mixed with unconditional self-life, other acceptance, which Stoicism and Greco-Roman philosophy is the foundation. There is Taoism in there as well, and just minimalism and mindfulness, all different aspects depending on what we're looking at and who we're working with and where it needs to be applied. So before I go any further, please subscribe. Hit that like button down below. Let me know what you think. This will be a little bit more of an educational format of a video. It is important to do videos like this. Maybe the one I do tomorrow will be what to expect from 6 to 18 months, and then maybe what to expect from 18 months to 5 years, etc. Kind of a little mini series. I think that will be really important to do. And if you want to know more information on the webinars or one-to-one coaching, how that works, how the packages works, how to get inside the WhatsApp groups, just again, email phil@ocdrecovery.com. So we're just for theory in this video going to say you bought a 4 to 6-pack. We have a lot of people that buy 10-packs when they come in because they're very severe and they finally feel as if there's hope. I was the same way. I did numerous calls in the beginning because remember, I had left a mental hospital and I wanted to end my life. So when I had went to multiple well-intentioned individuals that really did mean to help and they meant well, then when I found Rob, someone recommended me to Rob, who I found on YouTube, and I remember I was crying. I don't know what to do. I was, I wanted to blow my head off. So I met Rob, and then the first call with Rob, I believe, was in the back end of 2019, around the mental hospital time. So from that call to the first 6 months, I personally felt worse emotionally. And I do think this is common. I have an itch in my, I was like, no, can I withstand holding the itch? So I had that call with Rob, and my emotions more than likely swung to the worst side for the first 6 months. This is not uncommon. Why? You have to look at it in the way of a drug addict. Nobody who's been drinking alcohol or smoking meth every day for 10 years usually feels better once they get into the first couple months of sobriety. Usually their symptoms go up. We call it being dope sick when it comes to heroin, Oxycontin withdrawals, any type of synthetic opioid. There's no difference between that, meth, and crack. I'm just using that for an example. And alcoholism withdrawals can be really bad. I mean, they're so bad they can kill you. I had a buddy of mine I think it was my buddy who I grew up with, his fiance's sister, unfortunately passed away 3 days after withdrawing from alcohol. So this is really serious stuff. So when you start to change, your OCD will pull up a fight. Okay? Even when you're stuck 24/7 and you don't know what you're doing, your OCD isn't really putting up a fight in the way that you think until you start to get better. You can't even really experience the full latching mechanisms of fear until you start to get better. Because remember, the fear is the fear of being stuck forever, the fear of going backwards, or the fear of getting worse. You can't even experience the fear of going backwards until you have longer periods of time of feeling better. So I'm still getting used to doing, that's so much better. On this particular couch I have, I'm actually going to bring this forward a little bit since I'm still trying to get used to this particular couch. Oh, that's a lot better. So that is something to expect. That's the first thing to expect, is that your symptoms will more than likely wax and wane as you're going throughout the process. The second thing that will probably happen, and this is, again, I have to repeat this throughout the video, this is if you're doing the things in what we consider correctly, you will feel very, very confused. And I mean very confused. The books don't apply to me. This isn't making any sense. What does this mean? Yeah, Ellis is using perspectives and examples about, oh, well, what if you don't get a job? And I have fears about being in POCD or harm OCD or being a rapist or anything like that. How is that going to apply to me? The principles apply regardless of whatever the fear is. Regardless of the fear, the principles apply. So it is important to remember that as you're going throughout this process. So you'll be very confused. You will doubt everything. The third thing that you probably are going to expect is that your life is going to need to look very differently. I have rarely met people who come in on the first calls. It's a little bit different today because there's so much content. So I have people that come in and they say, I've read all the books in the reading list, but that never happened 2 to 3 years ago. So the majority of the calls when people come in, many of them are part-time or not working at all. They're not going to the gym. They're sleeping in all day. They're smoking vape all day. They're watching and abusing adult websites every day. They're playing video games for 6 to 8 hours a day. They're not in a relationship. They're using short phrase, low frustration tolerance, such as just, oh, I'll just leave this here, or that person has the ick. And they use all these phrases, and maybe they're caught up in short-term get rich quick schemes with the internet. Oh, I'm going to be a multimillionaire by the time I'm 21. No. The amount of people that are becoming multimillionaires by the time they're 30 is still very, very, very small. So there's no realistic perspectives. And then when you tell people like this, they're like, oh, you're being a pessimist. No, I'm being a realist. The reality is you don't have a job. You're at your mom's house. You're probably not going to be a millionaire ever unless you change. Ever. And the chances of you becoming a millionaire is still very, very low. Because becoming a millionaire is still very, very hard in the grand scheme of 8.2 billion people. I think there's 8.2 billion people. So that's not me putting you down. That's me telling you the realities of what to expect. So if things don't pan out, you could still accept your life and yourself. So that whole point 3, there's so many different angles with that. We have to work on that. Getting you back in shape, getting you back in the gym, balancing your nutrition, decreasing short-term instant gratification stuff. I always make a joke and say, I'd rather you smoke cigarettes than vape cartridges. At least with cigarettes, there's designated areas where you can't just do it every 24 seconds. With Juul pods and those vape rigs, people smoke them in their cars, at their office, in the bathroom, everywhere. I want this now. That's what do you think the biggest problem with porn is? The biggest problem with porn is it's instant. Ready? Gotta go out, take a girl on a date, possibly get rejected. Then I gotta actually get together and take our clothes off and have sex. There's a lot more vulnerability and hard work required than just, I'm not really in a good mood. Pornhub, XX videos, Derm, all that. It's the same thing. That's not me. I'm not here to tell you if you should or should not do that. I'm just telling you the realities of what happens when you use these things combined with all the other poor lifestyle structures as you're doing it. So remember, we have symptoms are going to go crazy. Books on the reading list, you're going to feel very confused. All sorts of lifestyle factors. 4, and this goes into everything. This is kind of an overarching of point 1, 2, and 3. You're going to hear a lot of things you don't want to hear. You're going to hear why exposures are not the gold standard. Get rid of that term, the gold standard. It's a wishy-washy term, and it comes from people who don't really understand OCD. That's the facts, okay? Anything can be the gold standard, right? And literature misses OCD by a long shot. You cannot quantify this type of a complex mental health disorder in a research study. It's not possible. It's not like a medication study where you double-blind it. The people who are taking it have no idea what they're taking, and the doctor giving it have no idea what they're taking, and then they just see. It's called a double-blinded randomized controlled trial. You cannot do that with OCD research. It's impossible. It's too complex in the mind. So these gold standard things have to go. What works is changing your belief system, changing your behaviors, time and patience, feeling confused, hearing things you don't want to see. One of the number 1 signs of human maturity, in my opinion, is being able to take constructive criticism, which I was really bad at. So you're going to come in and you're going to hear a lot of things that you don't want to hear. And I have no shame or guilt telling you those things. I do it compassionately. I do it in a calm manner, but I do it with tough love. So when you sit there and you tell me on a sensory motor call, I can just do exposures and recover from breathing OCD. I will say, no, you can't. There are very few people on this planet that have the experience with sensory motor, somatic OCD, and hyper-awareness at the level of coaching and seeing people that I do, plus the personal recovery story that I had, being recovered from sensory motor for a very long time by changing my beliefs, having no avoidance behaviors, time and patience, being okay with relapses, etc. So I'm going to tell you things that you do not want to hear, and that's just how it's going to go. And that's the end of the story. And I'll give you one more thing what to expect. I'll try to go up maybe something that you don't think about. Oh, here's a good one. No one's going to understand what you're going through except they're a chronic OCD sufferer. It's similar to saying you're a historian at Oxford who has studied World War II history and has never been in a gun battle, never shot someone to death, never stabbed someone with a bayonet, never watched their friends get blown up and their intestines are hanging out. I'm not saying that person's worthless and what they know is worthless, but I'm saying from a personal experience, the plumber from Idaho in America who knows nothing about history, the one who stormed D-Day, watched all of his friends get mowed down, like in the movie Saving Private Ryan. All their friends' heads are getting blown off, stepping on bombs, getting shot from an MG-60 machine gun from a bunker, etc. That person will know way more about the experience and the latching mechanism of PTSD than anyone who has not been to war. And that is the realities of OCD. That is the reality of anxiety. So they won't understand. We don't need them to understand. So it's part 5A. That was 5A. Now 5B is we don't need them to understand. We never need them to go, oh, this and that. And that goes for friends, family, and I mean close family, spouses, people you were having sex with, people you were really close friends with, your mom, your dad, your brother, your sister, anyone, close friends, therapists, psychologists, other coaches. It is so difficult to understand this disorder without having it, and that's okay. That's okay. But these are 5 things to expect in the first little bit. This is not going for people who are not putting the work in. Again, I have to reiterate, this is for people who are putting the work in, they're trying to change. So remember, all the things, go back, review it, the things I was talking about. And it's important. If you're brand new, reading the books on the reading list, trying to change your behaviors, trying to work on patience, day by day, doing that, and you will get there in time. It's going to be a long, grueling journey, one of the hardest things you've ever done, but it is completely worth it. Thank you so much for watching. Again, Phil@OCDRecovery.com. Hope to hear from you soon. And if you have any questions, please reach out. You know, our schedules are very packed, but we make it work. We work with all time zones, etc. And I hope to hear from you soon. And thank you, as always, for watching our content and supporting us. It means a lot. And hope to see you soon. So again, Phil@OCDRecovery.com. Enjoy the rest of your day.